Think for a moment that your thoughts and emotions are not merely personal experiences, but the elements that make up the world around you. Our consciousness carries immense power, shaping the core essence of the reality we perceive. Every thought you nurture, every intention you direct, and every emotion you experience are like stones thrown into a lake, creating ripples that echo in the collective consciousness. The universe transcends the mere accumulation of inert matter and energy. It is a living, pulsating entity that responds to the deep currents of the human mind. Here, the secrets of creation do not rest in the tangible, but in the infinite expansion of human consciousness. As I've said in many videos, I believe that in this interconnected universe, everything is connected. Every thought, every feeling, every intention. Because the cosmos extends beyond the limitations of space and time. It is a vast field of unlimited potential, ready to be shaped and transformed by the power of our thoughts and actions. From the smallest subatomic particles to the grandest cosmic phenomena, everything is immersed in an eternal flux, sensitive to the subtlest fluctuations in our mental and emotional states. This is the domain of the mental universe, where the mind is not a mere observer, but an active participant in the constant evolution of creation. In this universe, the enigmas of existence cannot be unraveled by science and logic alone, but by a deep understanding of the complex gears of the human mind and consciousness. This idea has its roots in ancient philosophies and spiritual traditions that celebrate the interconnectedness of all things. The wise hermits and initiates of time immemorial had already held this knowledge for centuries, developing a system of wisdom to plumb the depths of these concepts. They recognized that the universe is not made up of separate entities, but instead is a holistic system, where each part is intrinsically linked to the whole. The Hermetic philosophy, for example, teaches that the nature of the universe is essentially mental, which implies that the cosmos in its entirety is a manifestation of the divine mind, the primordial source of all creation. This means that everything we perceive and experience in the world is the result of our collective consciousness. The universe is not something separate from us, but is instead a mirror reflecting our own minds. When we say that all is mind and that the universe is mental, we are saying that we are all part of an infinite and all-encompassing consciousness. In this context, the mind doesn't refer to the rational, analytical part of our brains, but rather to the vast domain of consciousness, a sphere of perception that transcends individual thought, embracing all of existence. So we can say that this consciousness is the representation of the all, a creative force that can be called by various names, such as God, the universe, or creative consciousness. Every thought, emotion, sensation, and experience ultimately emerges from this universal mind. So, to say that the universe is mental is to recognize that the cosmos is the product of the manifestation of this consciousness. All creation, from the tiniest particle to the most distant galaxy, is the result of cosmic imagination and the divine will that gives rise to all things. The creative power of this consciousness is profound, and by understanding this deep interconnection between mind and universe, we gain access to a vast world of possibilities and wisdom, where our journey intertwines with the evolution of the universe itself. In this world where all is mind, it's clear that we hold the power to shape our own existence. With this perspective, we then discover that the key to unlocking our true potential and realizing our deepest desires lies in the imagination. Imagination is the force that creates reality. It is divinity itself in action. It is, therefore, essential to understand that thoughts and imaginations are the threads with which creation is created. Everything we experience in the outside world is a manifestation of our own mind, a mirror of our thoughts and beliefs. So, if we want to change our reality, we must first transform our inner world, our thoughts. No matter how obvious it may seem, don't underestimate this power, because it is more than mere aspiration or vague optimism. It is a transcendental force, capable of creating the most profound forms of existence. That's why I always like to emphasize that we have the power to shape our destiny, especially through the power of imagination. But remember that this is a sacred gift and should be approached with respect, humility, and a deep understanding of the principles that guide it. Imagination is one of the most important tools we can have because it allows us to go to many places without even leaving the place. However, imagination goes beyond daydreaming. It has the power to change our reality because it is through imagination that we form our material reality. It is one of the most powerful abilities we have because it allows us to create new ideas, solve problems, and see the world in a different perspective. There is the reality that we understand with our senses, and there is the hidden, substantial reality that goes beyond our basic understanding and observable spectrum. In other words, the all encompasses both what we understand and see and what we don't understand or see. We live and move within the mental nature of the universe. Since the nature of the universe is mental, the mind is the origin of all things. When you understand this universal principle, you can also apply it to master your own reality. From this understanding, the power of the mind acts as a master key that can, therefore, open the various doors of the psychic and mental temple of knowledge so that you can achieve enlightenment, self-mastery, and consequently, happiness. Let's imagine for a moment that we live in a collective dream, a shared vision that shapes our experience of the world. This dream is the set of beliefs, customs, and expectations that influences us and is passed down from generation to generation. It creates a collective illusion in which we perceive the world in a specific way, often without realizing the limitations and prejudices this brings. The reality we experience is not an objective and independent entity, but a product of our collective consciousness. The universe is not only a physical reality, but also a mental creation, formed by our thoughts and perceptions. The impact of thoughts resides in the energy we invest in them, gaining meaning through our attention. As we engage in specific thoughts, the emotions they arouse become tangible, guiding us into different emotional spheres which, in turn, shape our actions. Consider, for example, that when we indulge in the idea of personal failure and nurture it with our attention, it triggers a cascade of negative feelings, such as discouragement, insignificance, and despair. This repetition of patterns can even lead to a state of depression. This mental response has visible physical impacts, such as on our posture, the curved spine, slumped shoulders, and also undermining our self-confidence. On the other hand, our attention, when directed towards empowering thoughts, becomes an anchor for our self-confidence. This boost of confidence is like a light that illuminates our emotional disposition and is also reflected in our physical posture. In this transformation, we manage to turn frustration into contentment, impatience into patience, animosity into affection, conflict into serenity, sadness into happiness, and other desirable metamorphoses. But despite yearning for positivity, we often allow small annoyances to disturb our peace, and we waste energy on situations that are beyond our control. Even that some of our negative thoughts don't materialize, we still give in to pessimism at certain times. When we find ourselves in spirals of negativity, it is vital that we consciously observe and recognize the improbability or falsity of these thoughts. As I explained in the previous video, we can direct our attention to the opposite pole of the negative thoughts we wish to dispel. In this way, we can transform the undesirable by simply changing its polarity. Through mental transmutation, we unlock the ability to transform negative thoughts into positive ones. We can alternatively replace them by redirecting our attention to different thoughts, or by engaging in activities that connect us with nature or absorb us in meaningful tasks. Hermetic philosophy delves especially into the depths of mental transmutation. This practice, also known as mental alchemy, embraces the idea that we can use our cognitive potential to reshape not only our minds but also our lives. It is the art of transforming not only our thoughts but the reality that surrounds us. Imagine this transformation as an alchemical process where our thoughts and emotions are the raw elements in our mind, the alchemist. With patience, we can alter the composition of our consciousness, directing it towards a higher state of being. In this way, we shape not only our thoughts, but the trajectory of our life. Mental transmutation is a journey of deep self-knowledge in which we explore the recesses of our consciousness. It's like spiritual alchemy, a quest to transform not only our view of the world, but the way we experience life. As we refine our thoughts and feelings, our consciousness rises, allowing us to experience the world in a richer and more meaningful way. So, I'd like you to remember that this practice is not limited to merely changing our perspective, but to reshaping our reality. When we find ourselves in a state of negativity, we can apply mental transmutation to elevate our thoughts, transforming frustration into gratitude, denial into acceptance, and conflict into inner peace. Mental transmutation not only impacts our emotional state, but also our actions and relationships. For when we ascend to higher states of consciousness, our interactions with the world around us are transformed. We begin to develop a deeper understanding of the connection between our mind and the universe, recognizing that our thoughts and intentions shape not only our personal reality, but also the fabric of the cosmos. It's an invitation to continuous self-reflection and spiritual evolution. And so, we realize that we are the alchemists of our own lives, capable of transforming our negative thoughts into the pure gold of wisdom and well-being. And that is the true magic of the mind and soul. As we come to the end of this journey, I leave you with one final thought. True transformation begins in your mind. Cultivating thoughts of positivity and self-love, for example, not only improves our own journey, but also raises the collective consciousness. As I said at the beginning of this video, every thought is like a stone thrown into a lake, creating ripples that echo in the collective consciousness. So, I invite you to embrace the practice of mental transmutation, to continue the journey of self-discovery, and to remember that you have the power to change your reality. From my heart, I wish for your every thought to be an act of alchemy, transforming your life into an ever richer and more meaningful experience. It's time to use the true magic of the mind with wisdom and compassion. Thank you for embarking on this journey with me. If this video resonated with you, I invite you to like and subscribe to our channel. Share this video with others so they can benefit from this message. And don't forget to leave a comment below sharing your thoughts, reflections, and experiences. Thanks again for watching and for joining me. Take care and see you soon.